Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today I'm going to do something I said I wasn't going to do anymore, which is I'm going to review something. I had previously reviewed a couple of rifle scopes for CV Life and I think a couple of other things maybe. But anyway, I decided that my viewers probably didn't like reviews, and so I told them I wasn't going to do any more reviews, although they had lots of stuff they wanted reviewed yet. And then Banggood came along. They sent me a couple of different emails asking me to review their stuff, and I turned them down. And then here recently I got an email from a group or somebody that gave me a link to their product, and I clicked on that link and I went over and looked at it, and I was totally intrigued, and I thought, son of a gun, I would like to look at that thing up close. So I told them, yeah, I'll do a review on it. And what that thing is basically a 3-in-1 rifle scope. And there's a lot of unique things about it here, such as it's got rails built into it, one on each side and one on the top. Never saw a scope before with a rail built into it. And coming with the scope, which is your regular 4-16 rifle scope, is a red dot sight on the top and a laser on the side. Now that's like 3 sights in one. You could take them off of here and put them on any other thing with a rail, and you could use this 3-in-1 scope on 3 different things all at the same time. You know, so I thought, son of a gun, I really want to see that. So here we are. We're gonna see it. All right, folks. And on another little remark here, I was looking back through the comments. I've got 2 or 3 videos that stay popular even though they're really old, and I found an inappropriate comment on one, and really, considering that I believe in free speech, I should have left it there. But you know, with a knee-jerk thing, I deleted it. But anyway, what I wanted to say was, if you got an inappropriate comment to make, and that's one, you know, that's political or racial or religious or anything guaranteed to stir up somebody, please don't make it. Even though the next time I'll leave the darn thing there instead of, you know, that was sort of led me to violate my own principles, which is freedom of speech, whether I like it or not, you know. And I can't undelete it, so there you are. So it was. I spent 2 or 3 days, you know, worrying on that, because the more I thought about it, the worse I felt about my actions. All right, now then, let's just get on with the video here, and I'm going to do an unboxing. Not a real wonderful unboxing, but I'm going to do an unboxing and assemble this scope on the rifle. And when we get through with all that, well, we'll just go to the range and have as much fun as we can sighting all 3 of these things in. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed. This thing is the MED, or maybe I should say NED scope. I'm not sure what that letter is. It's kind of fancy. I think it's an M, MED. And what this thing is, a triple scope. You know, we got a laser, we got a red dot sight, and we got a scope, rifle scope. I think like 4-16. I'll look that up in a minute. You get this thing here to fill out your feelings about it. Tell Amazon your review. This is sold by Tomato Home. That's right, Tomato Home. Now I know that probably sounds like a redneck outfit, but I'd be willing to guess it's Chinese. All right. So in here you get a package with batteries, tools, instructions, and you get all the goodies. Have you ever seen that much goodies in one rifle scope box? Here we got a red dot sight, okay? Here we got a light, all right? here we got, I can get it out of there, lens covers. Here we got the scope, and it's got a bracket on it, a mounting bracket on it, just like the light does and the red dot. They all got mounting brackets. This is the laser. I called it a light, but it's the laser that comes in the set. So what we'll have to do is, one thing at a time, we'll have to assemble this stuff. And they intend for you to assemble it all in one big package, okay? You got a rail here, you got a rail here, you got a rail here. So you can put all your accessories on that rail. Let's take out the red dot. And it's a nice looking red dot. Kind of looks like one that other ones that I had there, but not exactly. We'll put the red dot up there on the top. Alright, so first thing we'll do is we'll get out the tools. We'll just dump all that stuff out there so that I can get to it. Alright. Now then, the tools are down in here, which basically amounts to about 2 or 3 Allen wrenches. Alright, come on. Let go. I understand the crack dealers use little bags like that. I don't know how the poor addict all befuddled can never get the thing open. Of course, I've never been an addict, so I don't know. Alright, let's go here. Loosen up this side. Loosen up this side. Apparently, the red dot you get may vary. Some of them may be round tubular type, and some of them may be this type. So let's see if we can get it on there. Well, I keep trying to not unscrew it too far so the screw won't come out. All right, so let's move him up to about there. Looks like a good enough spot to me. Well, maybe one more notch. There. That'll be just as good as you can get right there. There we go. Alright. Being a right-handed guy, I'm going to put the laser on this side. I guess if you're left-handed, you might want to put it on the other side. All this stuff requires batteries, and batteries are included. And this little laser here undoubtedly can be hooked up to a remote battery if you got one. Alright? But it comes with tools and batteries anyway. More Allen wrenches in this box. And a nice big battery. Take a look at that. Alright. So, I wish I'd read the instructions because I don't know exactly how to put the battery in. But I think, there we go. Got a picture on the top for rednecks. That worked out pretty good. Alright, battery's in there. There. There you go. You guys see that? That's the on button here. I should have figured as much. But anyway, there's you a nice green dot. And I think this one will switch to another color. But no, I don't guarantee it. I'm not going to get into that right this second because I don't know. Don't want to show my ignorance early. So, let's find the... there's the screws. And actually I think the one wrench that will do all these different sizes looks to me like it will. We'll mount him right here in the, pretty near the middle of the rail. As close as we can come anyway. Okay. This part's not as easy as the top part because not much room here to turn the wrench. But there's room. As near as I can tell, all this stuff is pretty well adjustable. We'll find that out when we get further into setting it up. And I may have to stop here in a minute and read the instructions just for the heck of it. Although they might take my man card away if I do. Alright, there we go. Now this is hard to see because it's all black and we're in the dark kinda. I've got trouble lighting over on this side of the room. Okay, so red dot's on, laser's on. I haven't put any batteries in the red dot or this guy yet, so we'll move over to the rifle stand, and this is for AR-15 type rifles, and that's certainly fancy looking. So I'm going to move over to the side and I'll bring you right back. Alright, so I had to read the instructions, and believe it or not, this scope comes with instructions. It's instructions for the red dot, you got instructions for the laser, and you even have instructions for the rifle scope. So that's pretty unusual. Most of the time you don't get instructions. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this, but I'll bring it up again. You've got this little plug in here for the laser to hook into an auxiliary battery. I don't have an auxiliary battery, so I won't be hooking it onto one. Okay. For putting it on, this is for an AR type platform. I had to remove the front sight, which is these Magpul removable sights anyway, so that's not a big deal. But anyway, I had to remove the front sight so that I could get the scope on there, because this guy sits down really nice and low against the rifle. Now, as far as the battery is concerned, this is the guy that's going to get the battery, and I'll have to pick it up here in a minute and get it inserted. But the rifle scope battery, which is already in here, is a pretty simple matter. It's one of those CR2032 type. Drop it in the top and screw down the cap. This is, I guess, your average red dot kind of cap. Every scope with electronic stuff on it that I've seen has got the same little knob and same little cap. And this will have a lighted reticle inside it. That's why it's got that battery. Alright, so the next thing we'll do is we'll put a battery in the red dot. Now the battery's a little bit unusual for this stuff. They go inside right there, and I'll have to unscrew the thing, and we drop 3 batteries in there with a positive up towards the outside there. So, whoa, I don't want to lose the little cap. And this one Allen wrench fastens it down to wherever you're going to put it on your rail on your scope, or the rail on the rifle, or I guess a rail on a pistol. It would definitely go just anywhere. Alright, let's see if we can get enough batteries out of here to get it powered up. And it may be difficult to drop it in that little hole if you're fumble fingered. There's one pointing mostly up, 2 pointing mostly up, 3 pointing mostly up, and the little plug to go in there. I think I better use the wrench. I can maneuver it better like that, I believe. Yeah, maybe. Little bugger just doesn't want to go in there. There we go. I usually use the old trick of backing up on the screws and I'll feel the threads pop together. That seemed to work all right for here. Caps on. There's a red dot. There's a green dot. So, I'll see if you guys can see them in here. Let's get right behind the camera. And then there's your red dot. And you turn it off. There's your green dot. Red dot. Alright, and this one has selectable radicals as well. So there you go. Alright, now then let's get it mounted on the rifle. Or mounted on the scope, whichever you want to call it. Alright, so there we are. We got them all installed. Red dot on top, scope on the bottom, laser on one side. And what I'll do is I'll use my usual little shove it down the barrel red laser to sight the thing in, sort of. You know, this will get us near the paper if not already on it. And then we can take it to the range and finish sighting it in. So just hang loose a second. Now, as you guys know, my usual MO when I'm sighting things in, you like this, kind of like one of those crime shows, MO. And anyway, my usual method here, we'll look down the hallway if we can. Got to get really close with the tripod. Alright. There we are, down the hall. Well, maybe I'll back up a little bit. Alright, let's turn on the laser. You see it showing up on the wall down there, I think. I'm not sure. Up a little high. Yeah, you can see it. Just about the middle of everything there. That's a nice green dot. Alright, and I think that I'll just take a look down the red dot and see. And they're pointing at approximately the same spot. Now let me turn on my sighting in laser. And he's pointing to almost the same spot. So all I need to do is just adjust the stuff up and down till everybody's pointing right where that red dot is at there. And then it'll be wonderful. If I can get this camera off here, I'll try to show you the view through everything. I can find the latch. Burn. Alright. Alright, I let my fat fingers get a hold of the memory card there. And I hope I didn't mess anything up. Anyway, you can see through the scope. Not sure, I think you can see the crosshairs. They're pointing the same place as that green dot. Of course, the red dot down below is the point I'm trying to aim them to. But since they're all that close, there's not much use in me fiddling with it. I can just go straight to the range and try and get on paper from there. Everything looks awful close together right now. Alright. Alright, so I guess it'd be appropriate to go over the controls right now. This is the diopter setting for your eyepiece. You just turn him a little one way or the other till it matches up with what your eye can see. This guy here, well, he's tight, but this guy right here is to change the magnification. You can see all the numbers on it there. Let me turn it a little further over. This is a 4 to 16 scope, so once you got it around the 16 lined up with the dot, that's the highest power. Okay, then we move on up to the front. This screw right here is for elevation, and it's labeled up in that way. And around the other side here is the screw Get her down here where you can see it. And my hand, where I can find my hand. It's got to be somewhere around there. All right. All right. There we go. Right here is for your windage. Okay. These don't have caps that go over them, and they don't reset for zero. You know, some of the high dollar ones you could pick the thing up and turn it around and set it down, and zero is at wherever you've got the thing at. You know, where you've zeroed it at. These, you just have to remember what numbers that you had it set on at different points of being zeroed. All right. Now let's go back around the side here. This, let me see if I can turn this camera right. Okay, right up here on the front of the laser, this is your elevation screw, and this one down here is the windage screw, and that'll move it around to be aimed where you want it. Alright. On the red dot, this is your elevation screw in here. If I can get it to zoom in. I'm going to have to go handheld. There's just no room for the tripod and the camera and me and everything. Alright. There's your elevation for your red dot. And the windage for it is down here on the side. Everything's always so dark in this room. But anyway, there on the side is your windage. You can see it's marked right or left. On the sides here you've got buttons for the red dot and the green dot. Okay? You can turn them on and off right there. Okay? So I think that's pretty much all the controls for the scope. And now that you know how to use it, we will go to the range and we'll zero all the different parts of it. Back off. It's kind of impressive looking, all that stuff on it there. So I'm sure we'll have fun at the range seeing if all this stuff zeroes in. Now the laser, I don't expect to see it at the range in the daytime. What I think you'll have to do when you zero that guy in is you'll have to get the red dot and the scope zeroed, and then move the laser light around when you're in a darker spot, so that it corresponds to the crosshairs and the red dot. You know, then it'll be theoretically accurate. All right, next stop, the range. All right, we will start on the right-hand target with a scope. I couldn't get the camera. Whoops, sorry. Couldn't get the camera close enough to give you a look down the scope. We'll just have to do the best we can. Harder sighting in the red dot than the other one, but I got to take a reloading break now. Alright, got it reloaded. I'm going to move to the left target. That's one I was going to use the laser on, but I can't tell where I'm at with the red dot because I got too many holes. And the laser went quick and easy. Okay, so I was surprised that I could see that laser in the daylight, but I could, and I sighted it in right along with everything else at about I don't know, 10 yards, which is around the same as 10 meters. And so now I'm going to start off with the scope. I'm going to start on the left-hand target and set the scope, and then I'll try to move to the center target with a red dot, and then save the laser for last, do the right-hand target with a laser. At least that's the plan. That was way high, about 1 o'clock, right on the edge. So I got to come down. Still too high. I think that's acceptable for 25 yards. All right, on to the red dot. High noon there, straight up. I'm kind of eager to see if we can see the laser at 25 yards, but we're going to have to wait. Suspense will build. Okay, I got too many holes in the middle, and I'm going to move the red dot over to the right hand one so I can see where I'm at. All right, let's see if we can see the laser. I can see it. I don't know if you guys can. Dud. I think the laser's going to have to come down a little bit. All right, I got it really messed up. All right, so I don't know that we'll be able to see the laser at 50 yards. But we'll try. That's all I can say. I think it uses the batteries up pretty quick because I feel like it was getting dimmer as I kept playing with it there. Just before I turned you guys back on, I turned on the laser and I could see it at 50 yards. I'm even more amazed than before. Of course, I couldn't see it with my naked eyes. I had to look through the scope to see it. So when I look through the scope, I can see it down there. I don't know what the camera sees, so we'll find that out when it's all over. I'm editing the video. So anyway, let's take the rifle and we'll shoot at the left-hand target and see if we can zero it in, zero the scope in for 50 yards. Hello.
That's quite a rig you got there.
Well, that was fun. I was just talking to the guy that shoots IDPA, and we started talking about practicing and how to improve, when you're an old guy and stuff. Anyway, all right, so back to sighting in the rifle at the left-hand target. I know you didn't forget it because I've only been going a second, but I could have forgot it. For me, it was about 10 minutes. All right. Turn the magnification all the way up to 16. That was about 11:30. All right. I guess that's acceptable for the test here. Being an old man and shaky and all. Let's do the red dot. One of the neat things I've noticed is the red dot turns itself off if you wait too long. Well, I can't tell where that was. Okay, so I aimed at the bottom of the target and it got up a little above the bullseye, so I'm gonna have to bring her up. Alright, that time I aimed at the left edge and I got the center, so I need to move left more. Alright, I put two targets over the ones that were already there. These are smaller targets, but it's sort of like retreaded the center. Let's give the laser a try. I can see it through the scope actually. Well, let's see if you guys can see it. All right, it needs to come to the right a little. There we go, bullseye with the laser. I don't feel like adjusting it around. I'm not going to be shooting anything with a laser at 50 yards because I can't, with my bare eyes, I can't see it that far. All right, I'll run both cameras looking at the target, and then I'll use the video from whichever one of them can see it best. They're both recording, so let's go. Usually with this kind of a reticle, it's kind of widens out at the middle and comes out narrow at the bottom. I can usually come down 1 or 2 bars on it, and it'll be just right for 100 yards. Let's see. All right, that's 2 dots down on the reticle. I didn't have to even go down to one of the bars. See if the red dot will hit it. I wonder if the laser will go 100 yards. I think so. All right, folks, that's going to be that. We'll recap all of this when we get home.
Well, it seems like Bubba has this Uncle Guido. Yeah, that's right. I said Uncle Guido. What happened was that Guido started out up there in New Jersey, and he got crossways with some of the wise guys there, and so he moved to the South to for his health. And after he'd been there a while, he met one of Bubba's aunts and married her. So that's how come Bubba's got an Uncle Guido. Anyway, Uncle Guido had a nephew living in the old country, had never been here, so he decided to come for a visit. And Uncle Guido picked him up at the airport. It was kind of convenient because it was on his distribution route, Excuse me. And anyway, he told Giovanni, that's his nephew there, told Giovanni, he says, I'm in kind of a ticklish business here, and it wouldn't do for a foreigner to go getting arrested, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you up here in this motel for the day, and when I come back tonight, we'll visit and everything. He said, I got 2 days business here in town, and then we'll go back out to my place, and so Giovanni says, okay, he says, but he says, I don't know how, I don't know how to speak English, and I might get kind of hungry. He says, you got to tell me how to order something to eat. And so Guido says, well, say after me, apple pie and coffee. So Giovanni says, apple pie and coffee. And Guido says, that's just right, So he took off for his stuff. And so comes lunchtime, Giovanni goes down there to the cafeteria, the cafe there, and he says, the lady said, what do you have? And he says, apple pie and coffee. And, that filled him in there for lunch. And come supper time, he goes back down there, and the lady wants around, what do you have? And he says, apple pie and coffee. So, it was something to eat, but, you can't make it on sweets all day long, coffee. So when when Guido got back, Giovanni says to him, he says, Hey, he says, you're going to have to tell me something else to order to eat. He says, I need some solid food instead of just dessert. So Guido says, okay, say this after me, ham sandwich. So Giovanni says, ham sandwich. He said, okay, that'll do it. So the next day, after Guido's out on his rut, well, Giovanni goes to the restaurant, and this big old waitress come down there. She looked kind of like Larry the Cable Guy, and she come in and says, what do you have? And he says, ham sandwich. And she says, on white or rye? He says, ham sandwich. She says, on white or rye? He says, ham sandwich. She says, white or rye? He says, apple pie and coffee.
Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.